this last week. They got big enough to put them in the rest of the flat.
Never have done that before. Everybody just assimilated together, no problem.
Good afternoon, everybody. Time to get started with today's sale. How many of you are brand new at this, never been to one of these before? You're a little bit terrified you're about to do something really reckless with your money. I bet a couple of you do. We're going to go through the rules and regulations of the sale before we conduct it so that everybody understands what the rules are and exactly what you're getting yourself into. The rules and regulations are printed in detail in your sale book. It's that teeny tiny little print under the heading that says rules and regulations. You might want to take a peek at those before your parcel comes up to make sure you understand everything. In order to bid today, you have to have a valid photo ID. You have to be able to prove who you are or are not in some situations. You have to be registered prior to bidding. Everybody in the room right now has got one of those yellow bid cards. That's what you're going to use to bid with. Get it up in your up in the air over your head with your arm. Do not wink at me or tug on your ear. It's easier if I just see that card. You may notice people later on that have a blue bid card. They don't get a discount. They're not a frequent flyer club. What that means is they got here late. Some of our regulars, sometimes they've heard what the county treasurers refer to as my spiel too many times, and they just wait 45 minutes and get here afterward. But anyway, if you see somebody with a blue bid card later on, we're going to ask them to verify that they understand a couple of the rules because they missed this early part of the session. When you bid today, you are accepting the rules as they're printed in the book, so please understand them and take a look at them. These properties have been through a judicial foreclosure process. There is a court order filed with the circuit court in the county where the property is located. It clears the title to this property and it's vested now in the county treasurer. That's who you're buying it from. There have been all kinds of tax bills sent, all kinds of first class and certified mail notice. Somebody has been out to each and every piece of property. If it's occupied, they either talked to an occupant or they posted the property. There it's been published in the local newspaper. There have been hearings at the treasurer's office, hearings at the circuit court. It's now foreclosed. Everybody that had an interest in this property had until April the 2nd this year to pay the taxes or they lost their rights to the land. It's usually March 31st. That's normally the last day to pay. This year, March 31st was on a weekend, so it fell forward to April the 2nd. We've also been out to just about everything, unless there was somebody living there, it had one of those signs put on it. I don't know about you, but if I owned a piece of land and I saw that, I'd consider that a little bit of a notice that I had an issue going on. We've gone and seen the judge. We did ask the judge to give us a court order that clears everything you see listed on that screen, and they have done so. It's on file at the courthouse in the county where the property is located. Deed and land contract ownerships have been voided. Mortgages are gone. Security interests, construction liens, IRS and other tax liens, judgments against the former owners, things like municipal water bills, unrecorded interests of all kinds, they're all wiped away by a court order effective April the 2nd. Some things are not affected at all by a tax foreclosure. If they were there before, they're still there now. That includes easements, either to the property or across it. If it's in a condominium or it's in a property owner or homeowners association, those deed restrictions, the requirements that you pay fees, those things are still there. If they're subject to local zoning or local ordinance or building code, all of those things still apply. We've got a couple of pieces of property in here today that have special assessments on them. Those are still in place as well. If the mineral rights have ever been retained by somebody when they sold it or sold to a third party, they're still split off. It's a condition of sale that anything that we sell that has a crop on it today, you're not buying the crop. I think we might have one piece today that has some crops perhaps on it. It's just a little piece of land. There's a farmer that owns a great big piece around it, and they kind of till right over the whole thing. They don't pay attention to where the property lines are. If there's corn on that little piece, it's not your corn. It still belongs to whoever planted it, and we're reserving the right for them to come and harvest it today. Please know what you're bidding on today. We sell lots of property. We sell thousands of pieces every year in almost 70 counties in the state of Michigan, and we see people come to the sale every year and buy some piece of junk that they thought was gold. Then they want their money back. The answer to that is no. You're buying today by a quitclaim deed. Everything is sold as is, where is. What you are buying today is the legal description of land you see in the book that's in your hands. We assume you've done your homework before today, that you know what that is. It's either a measured description or it's a subdivision name and a lot number. That's what you're buying today. You're buying that piece of land, not an address, not a photo, not what somebody told you is on that piece of property. These properties can have a lot of problems. They can have lead-based paint, bad foundations, leaking roofs, frozen plumbing, and that's just the start. That particular piece right there has got every problem on that list. It's the only one I've ever seen. And I've sold it 3 times to somebody just like you that wasn't paying attention. That's up in Ontonagon County. We won't be selling that this year. We tried last year, and finally, it didn't sell. Finally, I couldn't get a buyer for it. If that disappoints you, I've got another one right up the street in Mass City that looks just like it. It's in the auction this year. Come on up to Ontonagon County and buy that in a couple of weeks. Make sure you know what you're bidding on. There are no refunds. Everything is sold as is, where is, with all of its faults and conditions. When we sell, we're going to sell just like this. Everybody's got a copy of that sale book. If you registered, they gave you one. You went through the clerk line, you registered, and then you went to another clerk and told him what you were here to bid on today. I've got a list of 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. I got 9 properties. 9 properties in that book that are more popular than everything else in there put together. We're going to sell those 9 first so that most of you get right on out of here. So we're going to sell the 9 most popular ones first. Then we're going to go back to the beginning of the book. We're going to sell them in the order that they're listed. I'm going to skip the ones that nobody indicated that they had any interest in. Before we skip something, we'll ask if anybody's interested in it. If you don't want to buy it, I'm not going to try selling it to you. We're not going to take that amount of time today. When we open the bidding, there are one of 2 numbers that the bidding will open at. Either the minimum bid that you see listed in your book, or a higher bid if I already have one from an online bidder. These properties have been on the website for a few weeks. People have been able to bid on them online. I have a list of those bids in front of me too. I know how many bids I have for each piece and how high they'll go. If I've got a $300 minimum bid in that book and somebody's already bid $80,000 for it, we're going to start at $80,000. So that's how that works. Once the bidding opens, it goes up by the numbers you see on your screen. The bid increments until we get to $1,000. We go up at least $50 at a time in round numbers. $350, $400, $450, $500. Between $1,000 and $10,000, we go up at least $100 at a time. Once we hit $10,000, we go up at least $250 in round numbers at a time. The people bidding online can only go up 1 bid increment at a time. If you happen to be bidding against somebody online and we're over $10,000 and you bid $11,000 and they bid $11,000, they can only bid $11,250. They can't bid $12,000 or $20,000. You can. That's called jumping the bid. If there's a little bit of a tug of war going on between a bunch of bidders over a piece of property and you want it really, really bad, you just stand up and shout out $380,000. That's called jumping the bid. You will have my immediate, undivided attention, and I'll bet you win. This is important. This is the serious. This is kind of the scary part of our presentation today. Some of you in this room may not be eligible to bid today. And if you try to buy something anyway, your sale is going to be canceled. The Michigan legislature has given us a law that says you can't buy at this sale today if you have any other property in these counties with delinquent tax. If you have any association with delinquent property, if it's in a business name, a partnership, if you have a piece of property you're selling to somebody else on a land contract and their taxes aren't paid, and you hold the deed, I can't sell to you today. It's a state law. If you try to bid anyway, we're going to cancel your sale, and there is a criminal penalty. They've put teeth in it. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. We have several kinds of bidders today. We have you guys bidding here in the room. We have people that have bid online before the sale even started. I have a list of those bids in front of me. I already have 103 bids on property today. Stuff that's in the book. That's why we have some empty chairs. Some people, rather than come and sit here all day, do it online and they go to work or do whatever they're doing. We also have people bidding live online. There's a tripod right on top of that box in the middle of the room. It's got a camera on it with a microphone in it. They can see and hear this sale right now. They can bid against you too if they've given us a pre-authorization on a credit card. I'll remind the people bidding online, most of them know this because they do this all the time. Do not use the audio and video feed as your frame of reference for what's happening. Please use the text on your screen. It'll give you a much better idea of what piece we're selling and what the price is right now. Your bid is a legally binding contract. If you bid on something today and you win, we expect you to pay. We do not reopen the bidding just because you think that we should. We reserve the right to reject any and all bids, especially if you're in the room and we recognize you as having delinquent taxes, or if you have delinquent taxes and you're elbowing your brother-in-law and he's bidding for you, that's not acceptable either. Decisions of the auctioneer are final. There are no tie bids. Any bid that we don't receive at the time the hammer comes down is deemed as not being offered. If you win today, you have to pay today. You have to pay in full today. There's no closing date. You don't have time to go get something lined up with the bank or, get a wire transfer from your grandma or whatever. You should have come prepared to pay today, within about 30 minutes of the time that we sell the last piece. I don't think the sale today is going to run real long. We do have some popular pieces. There's probably a third to maybe a half of this book today that's not going to sell at all. Those are the pieces we're going to be skipping. We have a lot of property in places like Timberlake Estates and the Presque Harbor Association that aren't real popular with the bidders. So many of those will not sell, and we'll be moving through those sections of the book pretty quickly today. If you're bidding online today and you win something, you're going to get an email within 24 hours. It's got a handy dandy little link in it. You just click on it, it takes you right to a payment page. If you don't see that today or early tomorrow, please call the office. They're helpful and they'll be more than happy to accommodate your needs there to get cashed out. The first $1,000 you give us today has to be paid in certified funds. That's a check from a bank made out, hopefully, to you, and you just endorse it over to us, and that is your non-refundable deposit. Anything over and above that first $1,000 of your combined purchases can be paid by personal or business check, money orders, credit cards, or more cashier's checks. We accept Visa, MasterCard, and Discover cards here today, but we don't take cash. We used to take cash. I got too many bad war stories about that. We just don't get into it anymore. What are you going to pay if you win? Here's how the math works. We're going to arrive at a final bid price here in the room. There are three things added to that. There's a 10% buyer premium. That covers the cost of the sale, the marketing, and all the work involved in that. There's a $30 fee for recording your deed. Before you get the deed to the property, we're going to prepare it. We're going to take it to the Register of Deeds. They're going to make a copy of it for the public record, index it in their computer system, and mail it back to you. You'll see the deed in about 6 weeks. Could be a little longer than that, depending on whether or not they're backed up a little bit. You're also going to be paying the summer tax bill today. The law requires the buyer of this property to pay the summer tax bill within a very short period. We're going to make it easy for you and just collect it today and send it to the city, village, or township on your behalf. Each piece of property has a summer tax due amount that's listed at the end of the description. Take a good look at that for the one that you're looking at here today. So what you're going to be paying is the final bid price, add 10%, add $30, add the summer tax bill. If you're using a credit card today, they charge us 2.75%. So the portion of your payment that is put on a credit card, you're going to pay an additional 2.75% as that charge. There is no transfer tax, there is no sales tax today because you're buying from the government. If you need to leave the building to go to the bank or do something in town here, it's just going to take you a few minutes. Make sure to let the clerks where you checked in know what your bidder number is and how long it's going to take for you to come back. If you haven't given us the deed information for the pieces that you want to buy already online, you can do so by filling out that handy little form in your book. It says deed information on the top of it. Fill it out, giving us the names and addresses of the people that are going to be taking title to the deed. Please use everybody's full legal names. Don't use nicknames. Put it down the way that it's on driver's licenses. If you're buying something today with somebody that isn't here, somebody else is going to be listed on the deed to that property, but they're not in the room with you. If you're not sure if they've got any delinquent taxes, I'd call them and ask before you put their name on that form. Save yourself some trouble. If you are buying with somebody else today, We need to know the form of tenancy that's going to be involved in the deed to the property. Tenancy, you say that word, everybody thinks renters. It's got nothing to do with that. Tenancy is a legal term that defines what happens to multiple ownership properties if one or more of those owners dies. If you're buying a piece of property today with a relative, a business partner, a friend, and one of you passes away, what happens to that person's share of the property? Does it go to their heirs or does it flow to the remaining owners? This is often used sometimes with a parent and their children, that when the parent dies, rather than go through probate, it automatically just transfers to the other co-owners. You can pick out how that's done. If you're buying something today with multiple owners, the forms of tenancy are listed in your book. They'll ask you outside in the hall when you check out which form you'd like to use. When you leave today, you're not going to be leaving here with a deed to the property. We haven't even created it yet. It's going to be about 6 weeks before it shows up in your mailbox. What you are going to get today is a receipt. The receipt is your contract of purchase. It's our agreement. They're going to give that to you to review, initial several places, and sign before you leave, and you'll take a copy with you. Here's what's in that document so that you understand it when you get out to the table. They're going to print it out. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to ask you to check your name, your address, and the list of property you bought today, including the price. Make sure that 4-digit number in the book matches what's on that receipt, or you're going to get a deed to the wrong property. Make sure your name is spelled correctly, including the address and zip code. Make sure everything factually on that receipt is correct. If it's wrong on there, it's going to be wrong on your deed, and then we're going to have to redo it, and we'd rather not go there. They'll ask you to initial, verifying that that information is correct. Next, they're going to ask you to verify that you accept the terms of the sale, that you're buying everything as is, that you've had the opportunity to inspect the property, and you're buying it just the way that it is right now. The rules and regulations, you're accepting those. They're going to be asking you to initial in a few spots, verifying those things. Here's one that's important. We're going to be selling a lot of buildings today that are not occupied. We should tell you, and the law says very clearly, that you are not the owner of anything that you buy today until the deed is in your hand. Like I said, that's going to be about 6 weeks. We should tell you that because of liability, you can't go inside any of these buildings until you have that deed. You should even have insurance. We should tell you all those things. But we know how this works because we've been doing it an awful long time. We could tell you that you can't go in there until you have the deed. And we know that you're going to be in there by 4 o'clock this afternoon anyway, aren't you? Got ants in your pants. You want to get in there and look around. You bought it and you paid for it today and you got plans. Here's the deal. There's a couple things here you need to understand. You are not the owner of the property today. You bought it. This is just like writing a purchase agreement and giving a deposit, and it's yours when that deed shows up in your mailbox. That's state law. The treasurer retains the right to cancel your sale if necessary by law. If we sold something that we should not have sold today, somebody's got a big fat IRS lien on them in New Mexico and we didn't know anything about it till 2 days after we sold it. Somebody's protected by a guardian or some kind of a court order. If we have to roll back a sale before that deed is issued, what you get back is what you paid today. If you disregard what I'm telling you right now, and you run out there and you put a brand new roof on that place next week and your sale has to be canceled, you bought somebody else a roof. Anything that you do at that property between today and the time that you get the deed is at your own risk. That includes money that you spend on it and injury, loss, or damage. Part of your checkout today, because we know that you're going into these properties anyway, whether we tell you to or not, is a release. You're going to be taking possession. We're going to give you that possession for purposes, for very specific purposes. Inspection, security, and things of that nature. We're going to let you go in and change the locks. Put up no trespassing signs. If it's got a busted window, you can board it up. If there's a little bit of a danger of some kind there, you can clean it up, move things around. Inspection and security are basically the purposes for which you're getting possession. You are not the owner of the property at this time. Part of your checkout agreement today is that you are indemnifying the seller for injury, loss, or damage. You fall through a hole in the floor. You decide you're going to move something and the roof comes down and it breaks your neck. That's all on you. You're releasing the county when you sign the agreement today from any injury, loss, or damage claims. Told you about this. You can't buy something today if you have delinquent taxes. The state has given us an obligation, it's a necessary part of the checkout process today, that you're going to be making what's called a sworn statement. All of our clerks out there are notary publics. The last thing that you do when you check out today is they're going to make you take what's called a sworn statement. You're going to be testifying in front of a witness that you do not have any delinquent taxes in any of these counties. Once you have made that sworn statement, if we go through the list and check and we discover that you forgot about 20 pieces of property that you have with delinquent taxes, or we discover that you got a bunch of business partnerships or interests where there are delinquent taxes or something of that nature, you have made a misrepresentation on a sworn statement in front of a notary public. They have a one-word definition for that in the state of Michigan, and it's called perjury. Perjury in Michigan is a felony. If you've got delinquent taxes, your sale will be canceled, your file will be sent upstairs to the prosecuting attorney's office, and it's up to them to decide whether they want to chase you around for a felony perjury charge. My advice to you is that if you've got property that has delinquent taxes, don't bid today, and if you're here to bid for somebody else that has delinquent taxes, that's not a good idea either, because you're just as guilty as they are if you do so. After the sale, this is homework. You don't fill this form out today. You take this home. It's about the last page in your book, or right in there. It's the Michigan Property Transfer Affidavit. You send this to the assessor's office where the property is located. That's a city, village, or township assessor. You fill out one form for each piece of property you bought today. You're going to give them your name and address so that they can send the tax bills to you from now on. You're going to tell them you bought it from the county treasurer. You're going to tell them how much you paid, the day that you bought it, and give them what other information about the property is listed on there. Fill out the top, sign it at the bottom. You have 45 days to send it in, or they can and will fine you up to $200. There's a bunch of check boxes on the bottom of that sheet. Don't check any of those. They do not apply. We've looked at all of them before, and none of them are applicable. Title insurance. Do you need it? You do not have to have title insurance to own a piece of property in Michigan. If you're buying something today that's of fairly low value, you're buying it for your personal use, you plan on keeping it a little while, it's next door to something you already own, you've been mowing it for the last 25 years, you're here to buy it because it's a pocket change and you can afford to pick it up, you don't need title insurance. Just buy it, sit on it, keep it. If you're buying something today that you plan on fixing up and reselling, and whoever you sell it to, you're going to ask them to go to the bank and get money to pay you off, you're going to have title insurance. If there's going to be any kind of a regulated lender involved in the future of this property, you're going to have title insurance at some point. It's not automatic to get. It's not quick to get. It can often take 6 to 8 weeks, maybe even longer, to get a policy of title insurance on one of these properties that are a little bit more complicated than usual. If you buy something today and you don't get title insurance lined up, and then you decide 6 months from now you're going to list it, and as soon as you list it you get an offer and the guy's in a hurry and he wants to close in 2 weeks, it ain't happening. You're going to want to get your title insurance lined up before that comes around. You can go to your local title insurance agent and ask them to give you a policy on this property. Some of them will not write title insurance on tax reverted property at all. Their underwriters have told them, you don't have the experience in this area, you don't know what you're looking for. They have to look through the title search foreclosure file from the treasurer's office and make sure that whoever owned this property before was properly notified. Some title insurance agents don't have experience in working with that. Their underwriters will tell them not to bother with it. They may come to you and ask you to go get a quiet title, to go get a deed from a former owner. You don't have to do those things. If you can't get title insurance from somebody locally, here are some options for you on the screen. First American Title in Detroit has an office that very specifically deals in just this kind of property. There's a phone number and email address up there for that. Tax Title Services out of California issues insurance to the insurance company to give you a title insurance policy. There's a company in Grand Rapids, Vets Title. It's also known as Sun Title, S-U-N. They will write title insurance on these, as will the top two on that page. The Devon Title Agency has offices across the state. There's a new one this year out of Indian River that is writing policies statewide. It's the SNP Title Agency. snptitle.com is their email address. They've been very active in writing policy on this property this year. This is an important date if you're brand new to this process. Here's the scenario. You buy something today and you're out there fixing it up, and somebody comes rolling in the driveway and says, "Hey, what are you doing on my property?" And you say, "What are you talking about? I bought this at the tax sale." And they say, "So I bought it from a guy in March. I gave him $1,000 for it." Did you do a title search to make sure he wasn't losing it? No, they didn't. You might run into somebody that claims they just bought it. They got an outstanding deal. They bought it from somebody online on eBay. Or somebody that did some work on the property. They claim they have a lien against it and you owe them a bunch of money. Or the city wants you to pay somebody else's old bill or an old association fee. If you hear any kind of a claim like that, it all boils down to one thing, and it's the date on that screen right there. Make a mental note of that. Usually it's April the 1st because March 31st is the last day to pay. This year it's April the 3rd. If you hear from anybody about anything, whether it's a claim of ownership, whether it's a claim of a lien, if it is from before that date, it's gone. The judge has already wiped it away. They may not agree with that, but they can go talk to the judge. It is not your problem. You are assuming liability for anything that has accrued since April the 3rd, anything of any nature. If we're aware of it, it's already included in that minimum bid today. You might inherit something like association fees if you're buying something that has a POA or an HOA, a condominium fee, something of that nature. Sometimes if you're on municipal water or sewer, even if it's been turned off, they'll charge you a few bucks a month just for the privilege of being hooked up, even if there's no active service. You're liable for those things after that date if they're not already included in the minimum bid. If it's from before that date, it is not your bill. If you're buying something today and it's connected to city water or sewer, and you call the water department and they say, "Well, the last guy not only didn't pay his taxes, but he didn't pay his water bill either. The plumbing froze and it ran all winter and there's $3,000 worth of unpaid water bills and you got to pay them." Well, guess what? The Attorney General's office says you don't. The water department may not be aware of it. They might be aware of it, and they're going to see if they can talk you out of paying anyway. Their recourse is against the last occupant or owner or account holder of that property. It is not your responsibility. If you're buying something today and it's connected to city water or city sewer, please write those 4 digits down at the top of that screen, 7258. That is a Michigan Attorney General opinion. It says that any water or other municipal charge from before that date is treated just like everything else. It's gone. Whether it's still on their books or not is irrelevant. It's not your bill. It also says that they cannot refuse to turn your service on because an old bill is unpaid. That bill no longer attaches to that property. They can collect it from the former owner or the former occupant or a renter or whoever was there before April the 3rd. It's not your bill. They cannot refuse to turn the service on for you because you won't pay it. Michigan Attorney General opinion 7258. Possession, we talked about it already. If there's nobody there, you get to go in today. Inspection and security is why you're there today. You're not the owner until you have the deed. What if there's somebody there? We're selling a couple, maybe a few pieces of property today where there is still somebody in that building. Maybe you know who it is. Maybe you're here to help them try to buy it back. Maybe you're a neighbor or something that already has the information on who's in that property. Maybe you don't know at all. You just find it to be an attractive piece of property and you're willing to buy it and then find out who's in there. Well, you need to be careful in some situations because you never know who's on the other side of that door. Some of these properties may be occupied by renters. They're going to be pretty harmless. They know somebody's coming around. They're prepared to have a new landlord. Most of the time they just want to, get all settled up and stay where they're going. If you want them out, you can tell them that they have to move. If there is somebody in these properties, they are not a squatter. There's no such thing in Michigan. They were there when you bought it. They're an occupant. You have to either evict them or come to some kind of terms with a negotiated agreement where they move out. Sometimes you give them a few bucks and they go away. The other category of people that may be here are friends or relatives of the former owner. A lot of times they're not paying anybody anything. They're just coasting till they run out of gas. They too often know that somebody is going to be coming around. They're going to have to move or start paying. Former owners are often in these properties as well. They're generally understanding, they know that you bought it, they know they didn't pay, they either didn't have the money or they just didn't want it anymore. They may still be there because they just have kind of procrastinated on where they're supposed to go. The last category is the one you got to watch out for. We sometimes will sell property that is occupied by somebody that does not believe the government has the right to tax it to begin with, and they will meet anybody showing up at their property with aggression and even violence. If you don't know which one of those four categories somebody that's at that property is in, don't just go walking up to the door. It can be dangerous. You could be injured or worse. If you buy a piece of property and there's somebody there and you don't know who it is, my advice to you is go talk to a neighbor. Every neighborhood has somebody in it who's nosy. They know everybody else's business. They'll know who's in that house, whether it's an owner, a renter, whether they're stable, whether they're approachable, or whether they're off the rails. If you don't think there's somebody like that in the neighborhood where you live right now, I'll bet it's you. What you're buying today, we are selling you, as I mentioned earlier, we are selling you a piece of land. This is a little scrape that we run into all the time. Somebody buys something and they go out there and they think that whatever they walk into is theirs. That's not true. We're selling you the piece of land that's described in the book that's in your hands. You are buying buildings, driveways, septic tanks, the air conditioner, the water heater, the furnace, but not the Culligan Man's water softener. If it was not owned by the person that lost the property, we can't sell it to you because we don't own it. We were taxing the land and whatever's attached to it, and that's all we have title to, and that's all we're selling you today. We can't even give you other things. If there's anything on this property that's ever had wheels under it, if it's ever had a title to it, if it can be moved, removed, rolled away, carried away without or with the use of tools, we can't sell it to you. We don't own it. You are not buying furniture, boats, campers, appliances, inventory, personal papers, anything that's in, on, or around the property that is not attached to it, it's not a part of the land, it is not yours. You, again, should find the neighbor, find the nosy neighbor, say, who is here left? Somebody left a brand new Harley Davidson in the garage. I know I can't keep it without trying to give it back to them. If they say they don't want it, then I'll take it. You don't force me, I'll take the new Harley. As an example, I've got one down in Wexford County this year that out in a barn, out in the backyard, has an almost brand new bass boat sitting in it. It's still got tags on it. Whoever buys that property does not own that boat. You need to make some effort. There's no law, there's no rule, there's no anything. All you're doing here is keeping yourself out of a jam. If you find something on the property that's of value, try to find out who owns it and make some kind of contact and give them a reasonable amount of time to come and get it. If they don't, maybe they'll give it to you. Maybe they'll sell it to you, whatever the situation is. We sold one in Mayo yesterday that had Kubotas in the barn, trucks, all kinds of stuff. The whole house was completely furnished. If you buy something and it's got personal property value, find out who it belongs to, send them a certified letter, send a copy by first class mail, call them on the phone. It's very situational. There's no how long you have to give them. There's no how you have to contact them. You want to seem like you made a reasonable effort to let them come and get their stuff, and you made that contact. If they don't come and get it after you've given them a reasonable opportunity to, then dispose of it or do whatever you're going to do. But don't just give away stuff. Don't keep stuff. Don't sell stuff. Don't trade stuff until you're in the clear. It'll keep you out of trouble and out of court. That being said, we do not warrant the title today to mobile, modular, or manufactured housing units. Sometimes there can be something like that on a piece of property that is not owned by the person that owned the land. It's the same thing. It used to have wheels under it. It's had a title. That's no different than a car. If Dad owned a piece of property and he let Junior put his brand new modular home down on the corner of his 40 acres, even if it's on a concrete block foundation, if Dad didn't own that modular and Green Tree Finance had a lien against it and neither one of them got a notice, there's not a judge in the world that won't let them slap an axle back on it and take it away. So if you're buying something today and it's got a mobile, modular, or manufactured housing unit on it, it's probably going to stay. But if somebody comes and claims it, make them show you an order from a court that gives them a right to take it. You don't just have to let them roll off with it. But just remember, we do not warrant the title to anything that's ever had a title or wheels underneath it. We're just about ready to get selling today. When we sell, it's like riding a teeter-totter. I'm going to open up the bidding at either the minimum bid that's in that book or a higher online bid if I've already got one, and some of them are up there a few dollars. Then I'm going to come into the room. I'm going to find two people that want to bid on that piece back and forth like riding on that teeter-totter right there. When somebody wants off, I'll find somebody else to hop right back on. When I'm down to one person in the room, then we're going to go back to the online bidding and see if there's anybody there that wants to keep on going. Couple of tips for you if you're brand new at this, and a lot of you said that you are. First of all, that bid card you got, do not leave that on your chair when you go. You might be buying a whole bunch of lots in Presque Harbor later on this afternoon, and you're going to get a surprising phone call. Just remember, treat that card like you would a credit card. Don't leave it laying around. If you've got a cell phone with you, and just about everybody does these days, please put it on silent or vibrate. If you have a baby, if you brought grandma with you and she doesn't hear and you got to shout at her, gentlemen, if you disregard your wife's limit on your bid today, and she has to have a correction discussion with you, please take it out in the hall. It's easier for the rest of us if we can hear what's going on. If you bid on the wrong piece, if you misunderstood the bid amount and just bid way more money than you have, stop me the instant you realize you've made a mistake. I can still sell the property when the other bidder is still in the room. Don't wait till after the sale to say that I can't pay for this or I didn't want that piece. Stop me as soon as you realize you've made a mistake. I can still resell it. It's got to be instantaneous. Please try to pay attention and make sure that if you do make a mistake, let us know immediately. Be considerate of us, we'll be considerate of you. And finally, please understand that when we say something is sold, it is. We get people that sit in the back corner of the room, in the back row. They'll wait till I say going once, going twice, and I say sold, and then they go, and then they want me to reopen the bidding. Doesn't work like that. People think if they do that, they're going to save money. I got news for you. It works because you won't be buying anything today. When we say it's sold, it is. Use the yellow bid card. Get it up in the air. Try to bid early on. I will come back looking for places where I've seen yellow bid cards. Don't tug on your ear. I'll get somebody at every sale that wants to sit there in the chair and go like this. And I can't tell if they got a twitch or if they're bidding. Use the bid card. Let's make it obvious what we're doing here. When we say it's sold, it is. Any other questions before we get going? If you're in the room and there's something that you really don't want to miss out on, when it's time for that piece to come up for sale, you find a chair right down front. I'll get you. Any other questions before we get going? Yes?
I have a question that came up. Can a former owner who's occupying the property that you buy put a mechanics lien on it? Are you then responsible for that, or?
If a former owner puts a mechanics lien on a piece of property, it all again comes down to when they did it. If it's from before April the 3rd, it's already gone. If they put it on after April the 3rd, they don't own the property. They have no right to give anybody a lien on anything.
Okay, so it would be.
They have no authorization to do any work on it.
It would be illegal if they did that.
It would be something you could get thrown out. It would be invalid. Any other questions? We get people all the time to try figuring out little ways to twist the knobs on this, and they're going to look really bad in front of the judge. Yes?
I have a question. I've got my daughter living in my house down in Jackson County. She hasn't paid the taxes on that yet.
In Jackson County?
Yeah.
That's not our problem, is it?
Okay, just wanted to make
You're not buying in Jackson, so it doesn't matter if you owe money there. Anybody else got a question? Yes, sir.
You already have a bid, proxy bid,
Uh-huh.
and you're
Yeah.
where does the bid start on proxy?
Where does your proxy bid online start?
Yeah.
Well, they'll be displayed on the screen. If you have in your mind how high you went online, and if it goes past that and you've got a bid card, you can keep right on going. I have people that will bid online, they'll give us an advance bid, and it'll hit that amount, and then they'll start bidding live. So we have that happen all the time. You can bid more than one way. Don't bid against yourself. This is a true story, and it's funny you bring up Jackson. We had a piece of property in Jackson. This has been a few years ago, maybe almost 10 years ago now. A guy put an online bid on a piece of property, came to the sale, and he was the only one in the room bidding, and he bid against himself. Yeah, 60,000 bucks. All the way up. We had to undo that one, because he was the only bidder. He could have bought it for like $3,000 if he'd just sat in his chair with his hands in his pockets, but he had to do it the hard way. I can't hardly make up the stuff you guys give me. Yes, sir. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yes, sir.
Yeah, on the modulars and mobile homes, is it our responsibility to try and find out what the title on?
Nope. If you buy a mobile or modular home, I'll give you another example. We had one that we sold in Montcalm, or in Montmorency County a few years ago, where somebody that bought it at the auction was just hell-bent on figuring out where the title to this mobile home on this lot was. I don't know how long we spent trying to track this thing down. It was an older mobile home. By the time that we called Lansing and so we had to get underneath the thing and get serial numbers off it. We called the Secretary of State's office and tracked it all down. By the time we figured out who owned it, we discovered that the person had died in 1982. Nobody's going to show up on that. Don't worry about it unless you hear from somebody.
What would be the length of time they would have to show up?
Till they die. It really is not. Generally speaking, when somebody sells a piece of property that's got a mobile or modular on it, even if they have an attached title, people in their head they just acknowledge that they've sold it. You're not, if you hear back from somebody, it's probably going to be a finance company. And it's going to be a situation where whoever put that on there did not own the land. And in that situation, they might have a right to come and get it. We see them disappear every year. But if somebody shows up, again, my advice is make them show you an order from the court. Don't let somebody call you on the phone or show up with a truck and say, hey, we're taking this. Your response should be, show me an order from the court that says you can. And call the sheriff's department if they try to without one. Anybody else? We're going to get going then. We've got a few properties. I'm going to give you those numbers a couple times here. In Alcona County, I've got 6 pieces that we're going to sell first because they're real popular. Those are numbered, and if you hear the number that you're here for, that what it means, it's a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is you're going to get out of here pretty early today. Bad news is you've got competition. Those numbers are 104, 108, 135, 136, 138, and 139. Then, in Alpena County, 6755 is our popular one. And in Montmorency, 4806 and 4808. I'll read those numbers one more time. If you didn't have one of those, if you're not bidding on one of those numbers that I just read, it's going to be a little bit, but not a long time before we get to yours. We're going to sell those first, then we're going to go back to the beginning of the book. But if you're here to bid on one of those, it's going to come, the fireworks are going to happen pretty quick. 104, 108, 135, 136, 138, 139, 6755, 4806, 4808. Each one of those has probably a dozen bidders or more. We're going to sell those first. I do have 103 online bids today. We've got people bidding online over the live camera there as well. We're going to start in Alcona. Parcel number 104 is where we're going to begin. This will be real obvious how this all works after we've sold a couple. I am not an auctioneer. I do not do the yabba dabba do. I'm going to be pointing at the high bidder and I'm going to be saying, going once, going twice, sold. If I'm not pointing at you, you are not winning. Get your card up, shout at me if you need to. 104 is on Coville Road. This is a square 40-acre parcel. It's got some structures on it. They're all pretty rough. There is this mobile. There's a couple of outbuildings near it. That mobile's pretty well shot. There's a newer building that's a little bit to the south and west of there. About half of this property, according to topographical maps, is marshland. My minimum bid, you see it right there in that book you've got, it says $5,000. I've got 14 bids online for this piece already. It's gonna start at $36,250. Sorry, I'm here to sell them to you, not give them to you. Who wants to give me $36,500? Anybody? I've got it right there. Now I need $36,750 from anybody else that wants to ride the teeter-totter in the room. $36,750. Anybody else in the room? I've got $36,500 with you. I've got an online bid. I know how high he'll go. $36,750. Yep. I've got it online. How about $37,000? I know how high my online bidder will go. He can only go to $37,250 right now, and he will. I'm going to give you $38,000. 38 and a quarter. Yep. 39 and a quarter. Yep. 40 and a quarter. Yep. 41 and a quarter. Yep. 42 and a quarter. Yep. 43 and a quarter. Yep. 44 and a quarter. Yep. 45 and a quarter. Yep. 46 and a quarter. Yep. 47 and a quarter. Yep. 48. He said he's all done. 47.5. That's as low as I can go. I've got 47,250 online. You know, if you keep bidding, you will win. I guarantee it. I've got 47,250 with an online bidder. Anybody in the room want to give me 47.5 for 40 acres? 47 and a quarter online, going once, twice. I knew you'd be back. 47.5, 47,750. 48. You know you want it. I don't get to say that to guys all the time. 48. 47,750. Online, going once, going twice. She said it's okay. I saw her go like that. Sold it online, 47,750. My backup bidder, what's your number in case his wife finds out? Here's how the backup bidder works. We just sold that online for 47,750. If the winning bidder cannot or will not pay, we're going to call you and offer it to you for 47.5. That's one bid increment below what we just sold it for. It's not negotiable. It's yes or no. You're not obligated to do it. It's just an opportunity if for some reason the winning bidder cannot or will not pay. Now we're going to go down to number 108. 108. This is on Campbell Street in Greenbush. Summer little cottage place. This place is well taken care of. I don't think it's been used, maybe not a long time, maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe a little longer than that. You're not going to have to do a whole lot to this one. My memory tells me that I think it doesn't need much work at all. I've got 9 bids online on this one already. In your book it says $2,400. My online bidders say start at $10,750. Who wants to give me $11,000 for this one? I've got $11,000 with you. Anybody in the room want to give me $11,500? $11,500. How about 12? 12 and a half. 12 and a half. 12,750. 13,000. 13 and a quarter. 13 and a half. 13 and a half. It's only money. 13 and a half, 13,750, and now 14,000. 14 and a quarter. 14.5. 14.5. I've got 14 and a quarter with you. Let me look real quick. We're above my existing bid. I could have people online. 14,750, now 15,000. 15 and a quarter. I've got 15 and a quarter. 15 and a half. 15,750. Anybody in the room want on the teeter-totter at 15,750? I've got 15.5 with you. What about our live bidders online? Yep. 15,750 and now 16,000. 16 and a quarter. 16,000 and a quarter. 16 and a half. 16,750. from Jeff and Sarah. 16,750. Oh, you're on a 16.5, 16,750.
Yep.
Now 17. Checking with the boss, 17 and a quarter. 17 in the room. Going once, going twice. That time you bought it, 17,316. My backup bidder is online. Now we'll go down to number 135. I've got 9 bids online already in this one. It's on Edgewood Drive, out Barton City Way. There's a house right across the street. I pulled up to this one, and that little garage right there is all painted. It's got a split rail fence. It's painted gray. The house across the street's painted exactly the same way, got the same fence. And I thought, you know what? About the time I go try breaking into there, I'm going to get shot right in the butt. Then somebody pulled up, and I said, hey, save me a little trouble here. Is there a connection between these houses? I said, the house across the street was taken by a bank, and the guy didn't lose that, but he quit paying the taxes on it. So there's no association with that house across the street anymore. But the guy's stuff, at least last I knew, that garage was still jam-packed full of that guy's stuff. So if there is personal property in there, remember what we told you. My recollection is there's furniture, there's tools, there's stuff like that in there. If it's still there when you get there, try to make contact with him and let him come and get his stuff if he wants it. He's downstate somewhere now. My minimum bid is $1,200 on that piece. I've got 9 bids online, 8 bidders here in the room. My online bidders tell me to start that at $11,750. Who wants to give me $12,000? Anybody in the room at 12? I've got 12 right there. You want to give me 12 and a half? How about 13 and a half? 14 and a half? 15 and a half? 16 and a half? 17 and a quarter? 17.5, 17,750. 18,000, 18 and a quarter, 18.5, 18,750. 19,000, 19 and a quarter, 19.5, 19,750. $20,000, now 20 and a quarter, 20 and a half, 20,750. 21,000, 21 and a quarter, 21.5, 21,750. 22,000, 22 and a quarter, 22 and a half, 22,750. 23,000, 23 and a quarter. Family conference time. 23 and a quarter, 23 and a half, 23,750. 24,000, 24 and a quarter, 24 and a half, 24,750. $25,000, 25 and a quarter, 25 and a half. She said she's all done. I've got you on at 25,250. Anybody in the room at 25 and a half? 25,250. What about online? They've gone bye-bye. I've got 25 and a quarter in the front row. Going once, twice. Happy garage hunting to you. What's the bidder number there? 25,250, 278. My backup bidder. What's the backup bidder number? 181. You don't have to leave. You got money left. I'll take it from you. If you have a hard time picking out another piece, I'll help you out. I'm good at that. I've seen everything we're selling today. I can steer you into something good. Maybe. Number 136 is the vacant lot that's right next door to that. Just that garage we just sold is right there. That one's right there. It goes downhill in the back of that lot. It's still a nice lot. 136, I've got an $1,100 bid online. Anybody in the room want to give me $1,200? Anybody at $1,200? 12, right there. Anybody in the room at 13? I've got 13 bid online.
Yep.
14, 1,500.
Yep.
You want to give me 2,000? 16, 17.
Yep.
18. I've got $1,700 with an online bidder. I can tell from his bid that he thought he was going to be buying the garage. I've got $1,700 online. Anybody in the room want to give me 18? 1,700 online. Going once, twice. $1,700 online. My backup bidder is $278. $138 is next. Alder Street. This is a vacant parcel out near Crooked Lake. I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 bidders for this one. $700 is what it says in my book. I don't have any online bids here. Who in the room will give me $700 for that piece? Put your card up in the air, if you will. I only see a couple. I have a whole bunch more written down than that. I got 3 of you. Here's what we're going to do. If you'll give me $700 for that, just put your card up in the air and just keep it right there. I'm going to start saying numbers. When you hear a number you don't like, you just take your card down. 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 13, 14, 1,500, 16, 17, 18, 1,900, and now $2,000. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, $3,000. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. I'm going to start with you at $3,900. Anybody in the room want to give me $4,000? Anybody? I've got $3,900 right there with you. Going once, going twice. 4,000, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and $5,000. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. Family conference. $5,500 right there going once. 56, 57, 58, 59, and $6,000. 61, 62. I've got $6,100 with you. Don't look at her, look at me. $6,100 going once, twice. It's the old death stare at the auction. You bought it. 164, 6,100. My backup bidder, what's your number again? 2's at 278, 238. Now, number 139. 139. Cute little house on North Lake Street. This was kind of strange. I went through this place. It's been well taken care of. It's a pretty attractive little place. It's neat, it's clean, it's very modest. It's a one-roomer. I came out and I had a neighbor come over and tell me all kinds of horrible dead things about, nasty things about that house. You'd have thought that if you walked inside there, you were going to die. Anyway, it's not a bad place at all. It's probably one of the cleanest places we're selling today. $4,400 is what the minimum bid says. I've already got 10.5 right there with an online bidder. Who wants to give me 10,750? 10,750. 11. How about 11.5? 11,750. 12. 12.5. 13.5. 14.5. 15.5. $18,000. That's called jumping that bid. 18.5. 19.5. 20.25. You're slowing down. He keeps checking with the boss. 20.25. She just went like that. I think I know what's going to happen now, and that's going to be nothing. 20.25. I've got $20,000 right there. Let me look online. 20,000 with you. Anybody in the room at 20.25? Now look at all the cards I see now. Who wants to give me 21? Let's get this teeter-totter rolling here. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25, 26, 27,000. 26.5. 26 and a half, 26,750, and now 27. 27 and a quarter, 27 and a half. 27 and a half, 27,750. 28,000. This is very efficient. You can heat it with a flashlight. 28, 28 and a quarter, 28 and a half. I've got 28,250 with you. Anybody in the room want to give me 28.5? Anybody anywhere? I got 28 and a quarter right there. 28.5 online. They're quiet. I've got 28,250. I bet your arm's tired, isn't it? It's like torture, isn't it? 28,250 going once, twice. You bought it. 28,250. 159. My backup bidder in the back row. What's your number back there? 149. Alrighty then, let's go on to Alpena and go down to number 6755. This is frontage on the Thunder Bay River. 100 feet of frontage on the Thunder Bay. My minimum bid in that book is $3,200. I've got 4 online bidders. 7 people in this room are here to buy this one today. Let's see who wins out. I'm at $5,100 already online. If you'll give me $6,000 for that piece, put your card up in the air and keep it there till I give you a number that you don't like. 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to start with you at 11,000. Who wants to give me 11 and a half? 11 and a half, 12. You want to give me 13? How about 14? 15, 14 and a half, 14 and a quarter. I've got 14,000 with you. Anybody in the room at 14,250? What about online? 14,000 right back there going once, twice, 14 and a quarter, 14 and a half, 14,750. 14,750, I've got 14,500 with you. 14,500 going once, twice. You bought it, 14,500, what's the better number? 14,500, 282. My backup bidder is 206. Now, Montmorency County, number 4808, Red Pine Drive. This one's surprising me a little bit because I'm not drawing the bids on this, but I thought I would. I've got 6 bidders online. I know how high the advanced bids will go, and somebody might get a screaming deal on this piece. I don't know. We'll see. My book tells me I only have 1 person in the room here to bid on this. That would surprise me. I think somebody's fibbing. I'm going to call your mom. This is a pretty nice place. It needs some deck work. There's some rotten deck boards. Other than that, the outside needs a little work, needs a little paint, scraping. The roof's good, the inside is really nice. It's got a mother-in-law apartment in the basement. I don't know what else you could ask for. It's in a POA, there's lake access. There's a little bit of personal property here down in the basement mostly. I don't think anybody's been in this house in a while. I think this has been vacant for a little bit. I'm starting at $22,250 online. I think that's way low. Who wants to give me $25,000 for this house in the room? Wow. I'm at $22,250 online. Who wants to give me $22,500? Wow. This is going to be the deal of the day. What about our online bidders? I knew they'd come to the rescue. Now we might see the cork come off the bottle. We're gonna have an online advance bid and a live bidder watching us on that camera going back and forth, and we'll let you know when they're done. How many have I got? 1, 2, I got at least 3 bidders, and I'm gonna guarantee 2 or 3 more will pop in here because we have people that watch that camera waiting for deals like this. Looks like we got 4 or 5 right now. There's a 6th one. There's a whole bunch of people sitting at home right now watching their screen going, I can't believe that's at $22,500. It's not anymore. It's at $28,750. This might take a second because they can only go up $250 at a time. And there's about an 8-way little teeter-totter going on here. And they're gonna be just rocking back and forth until they're done. We're gonna just watch the screen here for a minute. We had one of these yesterday. We had a piece of property that we didn't have any bids for in the room at all. And it went up $250 at a crack all the way to $350,000. So this might take just a minute. Give us just a second, please. It's at $32,500 right now. We'll see where they go. It's not moving real fast. It's at $33,750, $34,000. But there are 3 or 4 or 5, 6 bidders here going on this. It's just going to take them a minute. We'll get where we need to be. It's at $40,000 and I still have at least 4 active bidders. So I don't think they're done yet. I think it's going to be a little bit. This has a cathedral ceiling in the living room. It's got a cedar interior, full walkout finished basement, 2-car garage underneath, big kitchen, big mudroom, 2 bedrooms upstairs, I think 1 on the main floor. The 2 upstairs bedrooms have a balcony, kind of a setup, nice yard, not far from the lake. It's still a screaming deal, even where it's at. It's at $42,500. I have 2 online bidders. Some of my regulars I have not seen, and I'm surprised by that. They might be popping in here in a minute. They might be waiting for everybody else to wear their fingers out. If anybody wants to jump the bid, $80,000, just let me know. We can get done with this quick. We've had that happen. We've had situations before where it sat online cooking back and forth between 2 bidders for a long time, and I got ready to sell it, somebody in the room throws up their card. I want to go slap them. But you know. Huh? It's still going, isn't it? Okay, we're gonna open that back up. We weren't ready to sell, so we got to let them back in if they want back in. It got closed by accident, so if you thought you won it just now, give it a second. It's at 44,250. It's open. We hit a button that we didn't want to hit. Anybody in the room want to give me 44,500? Really? I'm at 44,250 with an online bidder. I need 44,500. Going once.
Yep.
See, there they go. And we're off to the races again. If you're bidding online, let's get on that button and go. We want to get home in time for dinner. It's at 44,750. And they're not done yet. Looks like I've got 2 active bidders. Anybody in the room at 46,000? Going once. Going twice. Sold it for 45,750. Not where we should have been, but it's better than where we were. Backup bidder also online. You never know where you're going to end up. Now we're going to go to the beginning of the book and go through them in order. We're going to skip the stuff nobody came here to bid on today.
4806.
Did I miss that one? Okay, I was wondering. Okay, there it is. 4806. Now this one surprises me the other direction. This is a piece of land out near Atlanta. It's 40 acres. It has no road access. There's no legal way to get to this property. I've got 7 bidders online. They've already got my price, not at $6,900 that you see in that book, but at $32,250. You never know. I'm at $32,250 for that 40-acre piece on Dutch Elm Lake Road. Who wants to give me $32,500? Anybody in the room here for this one at $32,500? I've got $32,250 online. Going once.
Yep.
Now we've got a live bidder and an advanced bid online. We'll give them just a second here. And then we're going to sell this one. I'm at $32,750. Need $33,000. Anybody in the room at 33? 32? Nope, they're not done yet. $33.25. Need $33,500. Going once. Twice.
Yep.
They're not done yet. Now I need $34,000. $33,750 online. Going once. Twice.
Yep.
Hurry up, you guys. Somebody's got slow internet. Or they're married. I've got $34.25 online.
Yep.
I need $35,000. Anybody in the room at 35? Going once. Twice.
Yep.
They're not done. Now I need $35,500. $35,250. Going once. Going twice.
Yep.
Somebody's got a really slow internet connection. Now I need $36,000. $35,750 online. Going once. Going twice. That time we sold it, $35,750. Backup bidder is also online. Now we'll go back to the beginning of the book. Alcona County is where we're going. Cleared out some of the chairs. Everybody chasing the most popular pieces. Number 100 is where I'm starting out on Chipmunk Trail. This is in Lost Lake Woods. Normally we see the association online buying these. They're apparently, if they are, they're bidding live. $650. I've got bid right back there in the back row. Who wants to give me 700? Anybody in the room at 700? 650 going once. 650 going twice. 7 online. 750. Now 8. 800. Now 850. Now 9. 850 in the room. Going once. Twice. 9 online. Now 9.5. And now $1,000 to the online bidder. 950 in the room. 950 going once. 950 going twice. 1,000 online. Now 1,100 in the room. And now I need 12. 1,100 in the room. Going once. 12 online. Now 13 and 14. I'm smelling a slow internet connection here today. 13 in the room. Going once. Going twice. You bought it $1,300, 225. My backup bidder is online. Number 101, Hubbard Lake is the area, building site. This is on a paved county maintained road. It's a gravel road, excuse me. Not far east of the village. I've got $750 already bid online. Anybody in the room want to give me 800 for this? 750 online, going once. Twice. 800, now 850. I've got $800 in the room, going once. Twice. 850, now 9. Now 950. $900 going once. $950, now $1,000. 1,000, now 1,100. Now 12. $1,200. I've got 11 online. Going once. Twice. $1,100 online. My backup bidder. What's the backup bidder number there in the room? Number 275. The next one I do not have a bid on. It's right around the corner from the last one we just sold. It's just missing a street, that's all. Anybody in the room to bid on that one? If not, we'll go right on by it. And open up number 103. I have 3 bidders here in the room for the parcel on Betty Street, Curtisville. Used to be a mobile home here, it's gone. It's a pretty large lot. When I was out there putting the sign on it, I had a couple of the neighbors over rubbernecking and checking it all out. I bet they're here in the room today. They seem like they want to buy it from you right on the spot. I didn't have change, I'd have sold it to them. 103 is the parcel we're selling. I've got 3 bidders in the room. Who wants to give me $1,400 for it? $1,400 right there. Anybody in the room at 15? Where's my other bidders? Who wants to give me $1,500 for that? 14 going once. 15 right there. Now 16, 1,700. 18, 1,900. Now 2,000. 21, 22, 23, 24. Now 2,500. 26. Now 27. 28. Now 29. $3,000. Now 3,100. You're not going to keep going at 31? Did you hear about they just discovered gold in Curtisville? I've got $3,000 right here. 3,000 going once. Twice. $3,000, 233. My backup bidder, 173. We already sold 104. 105 is where we're going. 3 online bidders after this one, and somebody in the room too. There's no power out here, but there's an awful lot of really nice maple trees. This is 5 acres? I want to say this is 5 acres. I think that's my math. I've got $2,300 online. Who wants to give me 25? Who wants to give me 24? I've got $2,300 online. 24 right there. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, $3,000, now 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Ooh, $3,800 in the 39 online with a live bidder. 4,000, now 41. 4,200, 43. 42 in the room. 43 online, now 44 and 4,500. 46, 47. 46 in the room. 47 online, 48 and now 4,900. 40 and now $5,000. 51. 5,000 in the room. 51 online, 52, now 5,300. 52 in the room. 53 online, $5,400, now 55. 56, 5,700. 58, 59. $6,000, now 6,100. 62, she says, no way, Jose, I'm all done. $6,100 online, going once, twice. $6,100 online. My backup bidder in the room is number 312. Seems like the internet connection is good for us, whoever that one bidder was. It must have just been awful slow at his house. That was moving. Number 106 is on South Stevens Road, about a mile from Lake Huron. $750 I have already got bid online. Who wants to give me 800? Anybody in the room for this one at $800? I've got 8 right there. 8.5? Not yet. I've got 800. 8.5. Now 9. 950. $900 in the room. $950. Now $1,000. And 1,100. 1,200. Now 13. 1,400. Now 15. 1,600. 17. 1,800. He says no. I've got 17 online. Anybody in the room want to give me $1,800 for this? 17 online going once. Twice. $1,700 online. My backup bidder, what's your number back there? Backup bidder is 1066. On the next page, 107 Martell Road. Double lot in the Huron Cedar Lake sub. I've got an $850 bid online for that double lot. Anybody want to give me $900? I've got $850 online, going once, twice. Sold it the electronic way at the minimum bid. We already sold 108. 109 on US 23. It's on US 23 in Greenbush. I need $600 for it. Somebody wanted it circled. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me $650? I've got $600 going once, twice. You bought it. Number 122 at the minimum bid. Number 110. Do I have a bidder in the room for number 110? We're in Timber Lakes Estates. Somebody wanted 110 circled. Is there a bidder here for the 110? What about 111? Is there a bidder here for number 112? They're circled in my book, but if I don't have a bidder for them, I'm not going to open them up. On the next page, do I have a bidder in the room for 113? 114, I have an online bid for. We will open that one up, take their money if they want to buy it. Number 114, I've got $700 bid online. Anybody in the room want to give me $750? Going once, twice. Sold that one online for $700. Anybody here for 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, and now we're at Timber Lakes Estates. Number 127 is in the village of Lincoln, and I've got 2 bids online for this one already. It's on Traverse Bay Estate in the village of Lincoln. This house sits kind of low. It's been, let's say, half remodeled or half unremodeled, and whoever was doing the work, ooh, you know what I mean. Not exactly top-notch contractor grade workmanship in here. It's just kind of thrown together. I'm at $3,300 with an online bidder, but it's going to cost you more than that to buy those boards in a pile, not to mention the value of the lot. Who wants to give me $3,400 and finish that job up? $3,400 right there. Anybody in the room want to give me $35,000? I've got $3,500 online. Yep. $36,000, $37,000, yep. $38,000, $39,000, yep. And now $4,000. $4,000 right there. Anybody want to give me $41,000? I've got $4,000 with Howard. He came all the way across the bridge to buy this one today. I've got $4,000 going once. Yep. $41,000, now $42,000, $43,000, $42,000 in the room. Yep. $43,000 online, $4,400, now $45,000, $44,000 going once. Yep. $45,000 online, now $46,000. $4,700, $46,000 going once, twice. You bought it. $4,600. What's your bidder number back there, Howard? $4,600, 118. My backup bidder is online. Number 128 is next. I've got an online bid for this one as well. It's on Ellen Drive. You can see the lake from here. You can hear the ocean. No, I made that part up. I got $650 online already bid. Who wants to give me $700? Anybody in the room? $700 there. $7.5. Yep. $8.5. Yep. $9.5. $1,000 bill, now $1,100. Yep. $12, now $13. Yep. $14, now $15. Yep. $16, $1,700. Yep. $18. He said no. I've got $17 online. Anybody in the room want to give me $1,800? $1,700 going once, twice. $1,700 online. My backup bidder is at 1108. It's 1066. I don't know where I came up with that. Anybody here to bid on number 129? Doesn't have any road frontage, but it's a great place to park your helicopter. On the next page, do I have a bidder in the room for 130? What about 131? 132. 132 back there, I got it. Let's open her up. It's on Power Drive. Oop, that's wrong, she said. Anybody for 130, 131, or 132? Anybody for any of those? Let's go down to 133. We've got online bids for this one. I rolled up to this and I thought, gee, that's awful kind of funny because I don't have really any kind of an address for this. Usually if there's something on something, it's got an address. I thought maybe there'd been a mistake because the FCD was very low And then I discovered that that modular home sitting right there was not connected to anything. It's just sitting there. No septic, no well, no power, no phone, not even direct TV. How can people live like that, you say? That's because that's just being stored there. That's a perfect example of what we told you about earlier. That is not a part of the deal. Good luck trying to get them to come and get it. I think it's been abandoned there. I think they just stuck it there and walked away, but I don't know. $2,300 is what I am being offered for that piece of land that's sitting on. Anybody in the room want to give me $2,400? 24. I've got 25 online. 26. $2,500 with an online bidder. Anybody in the room want to give me $2,600? $2,500 going once, twice. Sold it online, $2,500. My backup bidder, what's your number? 316. Number 134 is on Condon Road. 5 acres is what we're selling here. It's irregular in shape.
It's not 5 acres,
It isn't?
it's 3.61.
I'll take your word for it because I don't really see enough there to give me a quick way to figure that out. Roughly, well, hard to say. It is what it is. Trying to remember. Yes, this piece of property used to be co-owned, I believe, with a house that's behind it. You've got a piece on the road, this piece, and then another house that sits behind it. I think this piece and the house behind it used to be co-owned, and somebody lost that house to the bank, and then this piece just got let go. So I think that's what's going on here.
It used to be owned with the house in front of it.
The house in front of it, I knew it was something involving one of them. $1,300. I guess he wants to buy this. I got 2 bids online and a couple people in the room. I'm at $1,300 online. You want to give me 14? 14. 15. I've got $1,400. 15 with a live bidder watching on that camera. 1,600. 16. 16. 17. Anybody in the room want in on this at 1,700? 1,600 with you. Yep. 17 online. 1,800. 19. $2,000. I'm at $1,900 with an online bidder. I had 3 different online bidders on that. I got $1,900 online. Anybody want to give me $2,000? $1,900 going once. Yep. $2,000 online. We'll give them a second here to fight over it. Now it's off to the races. Looks like I got 2 or 3 online bidders. There is a narrow access from the road. It is not improved. You have to put in your own driveway. $2,800 and it's still going. 3 online bidders on this. Down to 2 as the price goes up. $3,800. Now 4,000. And they're not done. $4,400 and still going. They could be done. It's at $4,500. Anybody in the room want to give me 46? 4,500 going once, twice. Sold it online, 4,500. My backup bidder is also online. We already sold the next 2. Do I have a bidder in the room for 137? Right there. Let's open it up. I'll take your money. Number 137 is what we're selling now. It is out on West Twin Maple Road. This is a piece of land where the value is in the land. It's rough. This one I think has a shared driveway, or it might belong to one or other of the properties, but there's only one driveway between those two houses. Ain't nobody been living in here in a while, I don't think. $850 I've got it right down here in the front row. Anybody want to give me 9? $850 going once. 9 online. 9.5. Now $1,000. 9.5 in the room. Going once. Twice. It's your problem now. Number 270, $950. My backup bidder is online. Yep. Alcona County thanks you for buying that property. On the last page, we've sold the top 2 on there. We're going to go down. Number 140 is not circled in my book. It has no road frontage. We're not even sure exactly where it is. We know about where it is. It was a topic of some conversation with some of the neighbors out there. They weren't even sure exactly where it was. Anybody want to give me $600 for that? It'd make a great Christmas present. Okay. Let's go to Alpena County. I have a bidder in the room for $67.50 on Naylor Road. 283 by 250 feet in size. That's a little bit over an acre and 3/4 approximately. There's some freeze damage. It needs a roof. It might need more than that. Look at that, it's still got the hitch on the front. You can take it camping. Or off to the scrapyard. $1,500 is what I'm looking for. The land, the well, the septic, all that stuff's worth way more than that. I've got $1,500 right there. Anybody in the room want to give me 16, 17, 18, 19, and 2,000? How about 2,500? You gonna give me 3,000? We'll do it the slow, painful way. 26. 26, I got 25. Who wants to give me 2,600? 26, 27, 28. 27 in the room. Going once, twice. You bought it. $2,700 and she's excited about it. $2,700, what's your bidder number? Yeah, buddy. 2,700, 223. My backup bidder is online. Is anybody here to buy 6752? If not, we'll skip right on by it. Nice lot with those water assessments out there kill the sale of these. Anybody here for that one? Let's go down. We already, well, nope, 6753 is where we're at next. I do have a couple of online bids. This is out on the Taylor Hawks Road. We've sold this one before. And the people that bought it went in and started doing a little work on it, and then he just ran out of gas, and now we've got it back again. This could be a really sharp place. If you want to put some work into something, this is a nice piece of property, but it's going to take some work. Couple of acres. There is a little modern wood frame structure off to the back, off to the side. It's all collapsed. It's all fallen in. It's beyond help. This one, however, is very savable. I've got $8,800 already bid online. Who in this room wants to give me $9,000 for it? Anybody anywhere? Who wants to give me $8,900? I've got $8,800 online. This is another one I thought we'd sell for more money than that. 88 going once. You've got a bid online bid. 89. We've got 2 online bidders, 1 in advance, 1 watching the camera. We'll let this run for a second and see where it goes. Three online bidders. One's an advance bid, the other 2 are live bidders. If you're not afraid of a little hard work, this one's probably worth the effort. It's at 9,400. Anybody in the room want to give me 95? 94 going once, twice. $9,400 online. Backup bidder is online. Number 65 or 6754, Hawks Road, platted lot. I have already got $1,200 bid on this one. Anybody in the room want to give me 13? 1,300 right there. Anybody in the room at 14? I've got 14 online. 15, 16, 17, 1,800, 1,900, and now 2,000. $2,100. He says, I got 2,000 online. Anybody want to give me 2,100? 2,000 going once. 2,000 going twice. $2,000 online. Backup bidder number 271. On the next page, we already sold the first one. Do I have a bidder here for any of the other three on that page? 6756. Is there a bidder here for that one? What about 6757? Unbuildable swamp lots. 6758. Anybody here for that one today? Okay. On the next page, I've got bids on everything on that page online already, and we're going to sell them all. 6760 is on Scott Road, out Ossineque Way. This is a couple of acres in size. We told you about this one a little earlier. There's a farmer's got a great big field right there, and we've got a little corner out of it, and rather than turn his tractor around, he just plowed right over the top of what we're selling today. He's probably got crops on there, and they are not yours, they're his. I need $1,600. I've got that much online. Who wants to give me 17? I bet you're the farmer, aren't you? 17 right there. $1,800 online. How about $1,900? 19 in the room. Anybody want to give me $2,000? I've got $1,900 right there. 19 going once. 2,000. Now 2,100 and 22. Now 2,300 and 24. 2,500, now 26. 2,700, now 28. $2,700 in the room going once, twice. Now you don't have to turn that corner anymore. $2,700, 335. My backup bidder is online. Number 6761 on Curtis Drive, out Ossineque Way. 2 lots in the Ossineque area. About 3/4 of an acre there or so, maybe 2/3 of an acre. I've got $1,200 bid online. Anybody want to give me 13? $1,200 online, going once. 13 right there. What about 14 online? 13 in the room. 14 online. $1,500, now 16. 17, 1,800. 17 in the room, going once, twice. 18, now 19. $2,000. 1,900, going once, going twice. They're going home with you. $1,900. What's your bidder number? 1,900, 266. Backup bidder is online. $67.62 Truax Road, out Hillman Way. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. I saw stuff in this house that led me to believe that nobody had really lived there in maybe 40 years. But the furnace and water heater are newer than that, so I don't know what's going on. But there was like a 1976 calendar hanging on the wall. So, I've got $12,250 for this one already. It's about 10 acres. I've got 4 bids online, several bidders here in the room. I know how high this one's gonna go. $12,250 online right now. How many people in this room will give me $15,000 for that? If you will, put your card in the air and just hold it up. Only one. 15,000. Anybody in the room want to give me 16,000? We'll do it the online way. 15 and a quarter. Yep. 16,000. 16 and a quarter. Yep. 17,000. 17 and a quarter. Yep. 18,000. 18 and a quarter. Yep. 19,000. 19 and a quarter. Yep. 20,000. 20 and a quarter. Yep. 21 and a quarter. Yep. 22 and a quarter. Yep. 23 and a quarter. Yep. 24 and a quarter. Yep. 25 and a quarter. Yep. 26 and a quarter. Yep. 27 and a quarter. Yep. 28 and a quarter. Yep. 29 and a quarter. Yep. $30,000. 30 and a quarter. Yep. 31 and a quarter. Yep. 32 and a quarter. I'm at $32,000 in the room. Anybody here at $32,250? I already got you. You can raise your own kids, but not your own price. I've got $32,000. Who wants to give me $32,250? This house is real solid. Going once, twice. You bought it. $32,127. My backup bidder is online.
2013 was the last time it was lived in.
2013?
She saved everything.
They just didn't change counters much, did they? I could tell by that water heater somebody's been in there. I did go into one once, not long ago, in Montmorency County that nobody had been in, and I knew it because the neighbor told me nobody had been in that house since the 1970s. The phone was still on. She was dead. Somebody else was paying all the bills. That was a while ago. 6763 is next on Worth Road. This one needs some work. Maybe with a bulldozer. I've got a $2,000 bid online. Several people have looked at all those cards. I think this is the one that's got the oil. Is this the one that they discovered oil on? 2,000. Who wants to give me 3,000? If you give me 3,000, put your card up in the air and just keep it there. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. I'm going to start with you at $7,000. Who wants to give me $7,100? 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 74 right there. Anybody in the room want to give me $7,500? 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, $8,000. 81, 81, it's only money. You're young, you'll make it back. Believe me, I've got $8,000 right there. Anybody want to give me 81? 81, 82, 83, 84, 84, either one of you. 83 with the gentleman in the red shirt. 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, $9,000, 9,100, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 95 with you. Anybody in the room at 9,600? 95 going once, twice. Your problem now. 9,500, 154. My backup bidder in the back row, number 316. On the next page, 6764 Hubbard Lake Road. This could be a really neat place, but it needs a lot of work. The living room and kitchen floors are almost in the basement. It's just started to cave in, but I'm not sure what from because the roof on the place isn't bad. It does need a whole bunch of work. It's a classic, cute little farmhouse. There is a barn behind this that is not part of this property. Keep that in mind. I've got a couple people that said they'd give me $1,800 for it. Where are they? Who wants $1,800 right there? Who wants to give me 19? Anybody in the room at $1,900? 18 going once. 18 going twice. Now I see the cards. 19, 2000, 21, 21, 21, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25. I've got 24 with you. 25. $2,400 going once. Yep. 25 online. Now 2,600. 27. 26 going once. Yep. 27 online. 2,800. Now 29. 28 going once. Twice. 29. 3,000. 31. 32. 33. 3,200. Going once. Twice. That one's yours, $3,200. What's the bidder number? 3,200, 119. Bring your bottle jack and a whole bunch of lamb beans. What's your bidder number? 1022 is the backup bidder. Number 6765 on 2nd Street in Alpena. I think this is a pretty straight house. I think this one is structurally has integrity and is worth putting back together, but I'll be darned if you can see that when you get inside. You can't move in this house. As soon as you get in that back door, it's about that deep all the way through. It doesn't stink, it's just stuff. You name it, it's in there. It's hard to say what's in there. You can't tell what's in there. You can't get upstairs, you can't get to the basement, you can't hardly get through the back door. I'll bet there's a great big box of money in there. Among other things. Somebody is brave enough to want to bid on this. I think they're going to make out just fine. I think they're going to empty that out and find a pretty straight house, but I can't guarantee anything. $4,000. Where's my bidder for that one at $4,000? $4,000 right there. I think you're making the deal of the day. Anybody want to give me 41? I've got $4,000 going once. Yep. 41 online. 42. 43. Yep. 44. 45. Yep. 46. 47. Yep. 48. You got 2 opponents online. 49. Yep. 5,000. Now 51. Yep. 52. 53. Yep. 5,400. 55. Yep. 56. 57. 5,600. Yep. 57 online. 58. 59. Yep. $6,000. 61. Yep. 62. 63. Yep. 6,400. 65. Yep. 66. 67. 66. Yep. 67. 6,800. 69. 68 going once. Yep. 69. $7,000. 71. Yep. You want to jump it to 8,000? 72. She said she's done. I've got $7,100 with an online bidder. Anybody in the room want to give me 7,200? Yep. Now we've got it there. Anybody in the room want to give me 73? 73, 74. You're going to be on a best name basis with the dumpster man when you're done with this one. 73 in the room. Anybody at 74? 73 going once. Yep. 74 online. 7,500? 75, now 76. 75 going once. Twice.
Yep.
76, now 77. 7,800. 77 going once. Twice. You bought it. 7,700, happy prospecting. 7,700, what's your bidder number? 7,700, 266. Backup bidder is online. Number 6766, I've got online bids on this, a couple of them, and several people in the room here for it as well. This is on McKinley Avenue, occupied as last we knew, still as far as we know? As far as we know, they're still there. Remember what we told you about dealing with an occupied property? I have got a $5,400 online bid. Anybody in the room want to give me $5,500? 55. You want to give me 6,000? I've got 55 with you. Anybody in the room want to give me $6,000? 6,000. How about 65? What about 7,000? 7,500. 8,000. 76, 77, 78, 79, 8,000. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, $9,000, 9,100, 92, 93, 94, 9,500, 96, 97, 98, 99, 10,000, 10 and a quarter, 10 and a quarter. I've got 10,000 with you. Anybody in the room at 10 and a quarter? 10 and a quarter new bidder. 10 and a half. 10, 750. 11. How about 11 and a half? 12 and a half. 13 and a half. 14 and a half. 15 and a quarter. I've got 15,000 with you. Anybody in the room want to give me 15,250? What about online? 15,000 going once. Twice. 15,000, number 316. My backup bidder is over there. What's his number? 160. Yep.
There was no bids on lot number 6756. Am I still able to bid on that?
We generally don't go backward in the book because then I get everybody wanting to do it and we're all over the place. Come and see us afterward.
Right on.
Into Presque County now. Up Montmorency. That's where I'm going. I got different order in my screen than I do in the book. Is anybody in the room for the first one, number 4,800? Anybody here for that one? If not, let's go down to number 4,801. There is a change. My minimum bid in the book is incorrect. 4,801, somebody said they wanted it at $850, but my new minimum bid is $2,100. I think it's going to be $2,200 because we have to round them off. Anybody in the room want to give me $2,200 for 4,801? Okay. 4,802, I've got circled in my book. Is there a bidder in the room for 4,802? A couple of them. Let's open that one up. 4,802 on Parkwood Drive is a modern roof over. Occupied, I think, at least part-time. There were vehicles and stuff moving around there. There's a tree down in the yard. Not sure what the situation is. We sold this one a few years ago. Somebody bought it at this sale and then fixed it up and sold it. And it hasn't been very long, and now we've got it back. I don't know what the story is there, but there's a story. 4,802, I need $3,600 for it. 36. And I gave you 4,000. How about 4,500? What about 5,000? 55. 6,000. 65. 7,000. 7,500. 8,000. 8,500. 9,000. 95. 91. I've got 9,000 right there. Anybody in the room want to give me 91? What about online? 91, 92, 93, 9,200, 93. You want to give me 10 grand? 10,000, 10 and a quarter.
Yep.
What about 11,000? 11 and a quarter.
Yep.
How about 12,000 and a quarter?
Yep.
12 and a half. 12,750. 13,000, 13 and a quarter.
Yep.
13,500, 13,750.
Yep.
14,000, 14 and a quarter.
Yep.
What about 15? 15 and a quarter.
Yep.
16, 16. She came here to buy it today. 16 and a quarter. 16,500, 16,750. 16,500. Going once. Twice.
Yep.
16,750. 17,000. 17 and a quarter. 17,000 going once.
Yep.
17 and a quarter. 17,500. 17,750. 17,500 going once. Twice. 17,500, 239. Are you part of the story? Are you just are you have anything to do with the last ownership of that or not? No. Okay. Headache? Is that a word I just heard? Okay. We get that. In the neighborhood, just want to own it. Number 4804, Sturgis Road. Here's another one you can buy. You can fix this one up for us too. Outside Atlanta, it's on about a half acre. It has had some freeze damage to the plumbing. I've got a $1,600 bid already in line for 4804. Whenever it gets here. There it is. It's kind of messy. Who wants to give me $1,700 for it? 17 right there. The well and septic and land's worth way more than that. 18.
Yep.
1,900. Now 2,000.
Yep.
2,100. Now 22. $2,100 in the room going once.
Yep.
22. 2,300. Now 24. 23 going once.
Yep.
24. $2,500. Now 26. 25 going once.
Yep.
26 online, 27, now 2,800.
Yep.
29, and now 3,000. 2,900.
Yep.
3,000, 3,100, now 32.
Yep.
33, now 34.
Yep.
35, now 36.
Yep.
37, now 38. 3,700. Going once.
Yep.
38, 39, and now $4,000.
Yep.
4,100, now 42. 41 going once.
Yep.
42, now 4,300 and 44. 43 going once.
Yep.
44, 4,500, now 46. 4,500.
Yep.
46, 47, 48. 47, going once, twice. $4,700, 1071. I have to ask you, because you have the blue bidder card, you don't have any delinquent taxes in these counties, correct? Very good, thank you very much. 4805, is anybody in the room here to bid on 4805 today? If not, we'll go on by. There he is. Let's take his money before he changes his mind. 4805, County Road 489 at Ryan Road. The person that used to own this lives immediately to the west of it. Not sure what the story is about that, but they decided they want to keep it anymore. I need $1,100. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me $1,200 for it? I've got $1,100 right there going once. Yep. 1,200 online. Now 13. 13, now 14. 13 in the room. Going once. Twice. Yep. 14, now 1,500 and 16. Yep. 17, now 18. Yep. 1,900, now 2,000. Yep. 2,100, now 22. 21 in the room. Going once. Yep. 22, 2,300, and now 24. 2,300. Going once. Twice. Yep. 24, $2,500, now 26. 25 in the room. Going once. Twice. Sold it. $2,500, 296. Back a bid online. Already sold the last one on that page. On the next page, we have already sold all, oop, that's the last page. We need to do that, go to the next page. 4807 is next on the list. And I've got online bids for the one on Culver Road. There is a fifth wheel here. I don't know if it's still there or not. It was there when I was by there. That was some time ago. It might have been removed, not sure. This is out by the high school, older mobile home, not in horrible condition. It's savable. I've got $2,600 already bid online for it. 4807. There it is. I need $2,700. Do I have a bidder at 27? I got 26 online. $2,600 going once. Yep. They're off to the races. I've got an advanced bid and a live bidder. We'll let them run here with it for a minute, see where they end up. $4,000 and it's still going. We're selling more and more and more online these days. Much of it to local folks that just didn't want to drive down. $4,800, 3 online bidders. It's at $5,000 and still going. $5,500. Still got 3 bidders active online, but they're slowing down. 4th bidder. North of 6,000 now. It seems, nope, they're still not done. $6,600. Anybody in the room want to give me 67? 66 going once. Twice. Sold that one online, $6,600. Sold it online, backup bidder online as well. Already sold 4808. Anybody in the room for 4809? Anybody here for that one? Out on the little peninsula out there at Twin Lakes? On the island, so to speak. 4810. 4810 on Clark Street, Atlanta. I've got an online bid to open this one up at $3,900. Very clean corner lot. If my memory's right, there's a area in the little connector between the house and garage, and it's a little moldy and damp in there, but the trailer itself and the garage both in fine condition. There is some personal property in here that you may need to track down and give back to the last owner of the property. $3,900 online. Who in the room wants to give me $4,000 for this? I've got 4 right there. Gonna give you 5. How about 6? 7, 8,000. You can't buy the lot for that, let alone the trailer in the garage. 9, 9.5, 10,000, 10.25, 10.25. You can't buy a used car for that. 10.5, 10.5, 10,750. I've got 10.5 over here with this gentleman. Anybody in there want to give me 10,750? 10,750 from Moneybags back there. Now 11,000. Anybody here at 11? I've got 10,750 back there with you. Anybody in the room at 11,000? Online? Yep. We got it online at 11. Who wants to give me 11.25? Anybody in the room? $11,000 online. You could move right into this one today. $11,000 going once. Yep. 11.25, 11.5, 11.5, 11,750. 11.5, 11,750, 12,000. 11,750 online. Going once. Yep. 12,000 online. They're going to arm wrestle over this one. 2 online bidders. Let's see if a third one jumps in. That's usually what happens. 2 or 3 or 4 of them will arm wrestle over something, but it will, yep, there's the third one. Let's see if we end up with 4 or 5 even. They're watching the camera. I got 2 on 3, but 2 active at 13.25. Anybody in the room want it at 13.5? 13,250 going once. Yep. They're not done yet. I need 14,000. It's at 13. They're still going. $14.25 is where we're at. Anybody at 14.5? 14,250 going once. Twice. 14,250 online. Backup bidder is also online. Number 4811. This one, it has no road access. My minimum bid is $1,100. I've got it online. 4811. Anybody there want to give me $1,200 for it? I've got $1,100 bid online for that piece right there. It has no road access. Going once. Yep. Ooh. 1,200. 1,300. Let's let it roll here for a second. I'm a little mystified by this one. Look at that. I must be missing something on this piece. It's a lot on an unimproved road that has a 1/46 interest in a shared lot. To me, that is of dubious value, but to these two people, it's not. And does anybody know what's going on with this one? They know something we don't. I suspect it's got something to do with that 1/46th interest, like maybe there's some lake access or something going on here. I have an advanced bid. I know how high he'll go, and I've got a live bidder that's bidding against that advanced bid. And it's already well past the minimum bid and where I thought it would be. Let's see. Yeah. $5,000 is where I need to be if anybody wants to keep going in the room. I'm at $4,900 online, going once, twice. Sold it online for $4,900. The lot with no road access. One guy was willing to pay over $10,000 for it. Something we don't know about that one. Backup bidder also online. 4812. If you keep hearing about people draining swamps, here's one for you to do yourself. I've got it open right down here in the front row at $700. Anybody want to give me $750 for a swamp? I've got $700 going once, twice. Frog farmers, cattail ranchers, it is all yours. What's that bidder number? Number 137. Thanks for coming in today. That's all yours. On to the next page. We've got one more left here. This one's in Hillman. One more in we're in Montmorency. State Street, Hillman. Vacant. There's been something removed here. It's across the street from the grocery store, a large commercial lot. I've got a $3,400 bid online. Anybody in the room want to give me $35? You could put up your own whippy dip right here in downtown Hillman. I've got $3,400 online going once. Yep. $35 with another online bidder. We'll let them run with it here for just a second and see where it ends up. One, two, three, four online bidders. Where are they gonna take it? It's the train. $4,000. Anybody in the room want to give me 41? They're not done yet. Looks like we got two active bidders. 41. I need $4,200. 41 going once. Yep. They're not done. Three active online bidders. Somebody else just jumped in. Four active online bidders. $5,100 online. Anybody want to give me 52? 51 going once. Nope. They're not done. $5,700 and still going. Looks like two active bidders now. 6,500. And still going. 2 active bidders. Teeter-totter is slowing down. $6,700. Anybody in the room want to give you 68? They're not done. We might have to call in for pizza here pretty soon on this one. I'm looking for 7,000. 6,900 online. Going once. Going twice. Sold it online, 6,900. Backup bidder is also online. Now, Presque. The first one in the book, number 7050, is a little over 3.5 acres inside. Does not front on a public road. There is a 2-track that gets into it off Mulligan Creek Road if the gate's open. I've got $700 bid online for that one. Who wants to give me $750? Anybody in the room? I've got $700 online. Going once.
Yep.
Online versus online. Again, let's see where they go. That red dot you see, it's at $1,400. Are they done? Not yet. 1, 2, 3, 4 online bidders here. 5 online bidders. 6 online bidders. It's at $2,300 and it's just ticking along. There's another different online bidder. Everybody wants a piece of the woods. $3,300 and it's still going. $4,100 is where it seems to have plateaued. Anybody in the room want to give me 42? Going once, twice. $4,100 online. Backup bidder is also online. $70.51. Do I have a bidder here for the one at Surf Park? Let's sell him that one. Nice area out there. Wooded lot. $900. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me $950? $900 in the room. Going once. Twice. $950. $1,000. Now $1,100. $1,000 in the room. Going once. 11. Now 12. 1,300. 1,200 going once. Twice. That one's yours. $1,200. $345. Backup bidder is online. Now we're in, well, is anybody here for 7052? 7052, anybody here for that? Now, Starting with 7053, we're in the Presque Harbor Resort area. I do not see any bids circled in my book until I get down to an online bid at 7062. I'm going to read the numbers off. If you're here for one of these, get your card up in the air or we're going to go on by them. I'm going to read the last two numbers after the 70. 7053, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. I do have an online bid for 7062. We're going to open that one up. 7062, I've got an $800 bid for that one online. Anybody in the room want to give me $850? 800 going once. 800 going twice. Sold that one online. Anybody here for 7063? 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. I have a circle around 79. Let's sell that one to them. 7079. $1,100, Bay Shore Drive. I've got an $1,100 bid right there. Anybody in the room want to give me 12? Don't all jump at once. $1,100 going once, twice. That belongs to you now. What's the bidder number, please? Bidder number 162 at the minimum price, minimum bid. $70, $80, $81, $82, $83, $84, $85. I've got an online bid on 7086 at $800. Anybody in the room at $850? 7086, $800 going once, twice. Sold that one online at $800. 7087, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96. Now we're out of Presque Harbor at 7097. We're now out on Spence Road, out near Akiak. 7097, 30 by 80 foot parcel, no road frontage, it's off the beaten path. I've got $700 right here. If you want to get off the grid, this is how you do it. $700 right down front. Anybody want to give me $750? $700 going once, twice. $700, 253. I'll bet you own something next door, don't you? Putting them together? There you go. 7097, $700, bidder number 253. Anybody in the room for 7098? I have an online bid for 7099. It's on Cedar Street, 4 lots, 80 foot on Cedar Street, not far from Lake Huron. I've got $1,100 bid online. Who wants to give me 12? $1,200 here, now 13 there, 1,400, 15, now 16, 1,700, 18, 19, 2,000, 2,100, 21. I've got 2,000 right down front. Anybody want to give me 21? 2,000 going once, twice. $2,000, 253. She's happy about it. My backup bidder, what's your number there? 176. On the next page, At the top of that page, 7100, I've got an online bid for that one. Claybanks Road, Manitou Trails. In fact, I think everything left on this page is all Manitou Trails, and looks like I've got interest in most of them. Number 7100, I've got $1,000 bid online. Anybody in the room want to give me 1100? $1,000 online going once, twice. Sold it online at the minimum bid. Is anybody here for 7101? I've got an online bid for 7102. I've got $2,300 bid on 7102. This is a double lot. $2,300, I need 24. $2,300 online going once, twice. $2,300 online. Anybody here for 7103? Looks like I've got somebody here for 7104 and maybe 5. Let's go to 7104. Do I have a bidder here for that? Let's open it up. Yeah, somebody had to pick the ones at the end. That's how it always works. 7104, $1,600. I've got it right there in the room. Anybody want to give me 1,700? 16 going once, twice. That one is yours. What's your bidder number? 141 at the minimum bid. $7,105. Do I have a bidder here in the room for that one? Right next to them. They rode in together. It's on Pawnee Trail. I need $800. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me $850? $800 going once, twice. That one belongs to you. What's the bidder number? 337 at the minimum bid. Flip that page over, and I've only got a circle around the very last one on that page. Is anybody here today for 7107? Let's open it up. Howard's got more money. I'm going to take it from him. North 6th Street, Roger City. It's a big house. It needs a lot of cleaning out. $4,600. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me $4,700? 46, 47 over there. 48, 49. $5,000. Now 51, 52. Come on, money bags. I know you got it. I got 51 over here. 51 going once. This guy's been chasing me around the state for decades. $5,100 going once. Going twice.
Yep.
52 online, now 53 and $5,400.
Yep.
55, now 56.
Yep.
57, now 58.
Yep.
59, now $6,000.
Yep.
61, now 62. 61, going once, twice.
Yep.
62, 63, now 6,400. 63 going once, twice. $6,300, 160. Backup bidder is online. Anybody in the room for 7108? What about 7109? 7109. Oh, you want to wait? 08. 7108. This one needs help too. Somebody started remodeling it, I think, if my memory's right, or maybe not. It's in Onaway. It's got a pool in the backyard, but it's not usable. You won't be having any pool patios parties there real soon. 7108, $4,000. I've got it right there from Mr. Howard. Anybody want to give me 4,100? $4,000 going once, twice.
Yep.
41 online, 4,200. Now 43. 42.
Yep.
43, 44, 45. 46, now 47.
Yep.
48, 4,900. 4,800 going once. 49, $5,000, now 5,100. 5,000 going once. Twice. You bought it, $5,000. What's that number? 5,000, number 118. My backup bidder is online. Howard told me a few years ago he was going to quit buying because he was getting too old. Here he is. Like a drunk at the bellied up to the bar. Just can't help himself, can't stop. Anybody in the room for 7109? He wants that one too. He's on a bender, watch out. 7109, let's let him have it all. 2nd Street. This one's kind of torn up. I can't talk you out of this one, huh? I'll let you have it. You're in 10. $3,100. Anybody want to give me 32? I've got $3,100 in the room. Going once. Yep. 32, 33, 34. $3,300. Yep. 34, 3,500, now 36. 35 going once. Yep. 36, now 3,700, 3,800. 37 going once. Yep. 38, 39, and now $4,000. Yep. 4,100, now 42. 41 going once. 41 going twice. Yep. 42, 4,300, now 44. 43 going once. Twice. Yep. 44, now $4,500, now 46. 4,500 going once. Twice. Sold it. $4,500 to the mayor of Blaney Park. Did you sell Blaney Park yet? Yep. Yay. That's where he's getting all his money from. Watch out. Uh-oh. 7110, I've got an online bid for this one. This is a storefront in downtown Onaway. It was a restaurant. It's got vent hoods. It's got makeup there. It's ready for you to make right back into your very own taco stand. I've got an online bid for this one already at the opening bid price of $10,250. Who wants to give me 10.5? Anybody, anywhere? I've got 10,250 online. Yep. And another bid as well. One advance bid, one online live bidder. They're off and running. Look at that. There's like 4 or 5 of them in that mix. They're going nuts. It's going crazy. $15,000, and they're still going. How many we got here? At least 2. Maybe they're all done. 3 bidders. 16,000, and it has plateaued. Anybody in there want to give me 16,250? Yep. They're not done. $17,000 and still going. 1, 2, 3 active bidders. $18,500. They might be done. I need $18,750. Anybody in the room at $18,750? Yep. They're not done yet. $19,000. I need 19 and a quarter. 19,000 going once. Twice. Sold 19,000. Backup bidder also online. Somebody mentioned they had something they want us to go back to. Is they still here?
Yes, sir.
What was it?
In Alpena County, lot number 6756.
6756. In Alpena on Geronimo Road.
Yes, sir.
Let's give that one a whirl. 6756 Thunder Bay Village. There's been somebody in and out of this one. It's got weight equipment all around the outside. Oh, I'd watch out. He might pummel you later. $2,700. I've got it right there. Anybody want to give me 28? 27.
Yep.
28 online. 29. 3,000.
Yep.
31. 32.
Yep.
33. 34.
Yep.
35. 36.
Yep.
37. 38.
Yep.
39, and now $4,000.
Yep.
41, now 42.
Yep.
43, now 44.
Yep.
45, now 46.
Yep.
47, 4,800.
Yep.
49 and 5,000. 4,900. Going once, twice. 4,900, 1071. Backup bidder is online. Everybody else is gone. You want anything before you leave? You got money on you? Come on back if you got money left. What about you guys? You guys want anything? Oh, you got too much already. All right, we're all done. Anybody online want anything?